once you've done the setup rows, this next section will actually be fairly easy to you. Just you may need to note where you are, which row you are, until you get pretty comfortable with it and get the rhythm down. So we're going to skip the first stitch, the first peg of each row in this section as well. And for row 1 in all odd number rows, we're just going to skip, knit to the end, and half hitch like we did before. So we're going to start off with a row 1. So go ahead and knit to the end. And we are going to do 1 increase, and 1 increase is 12 rows. Now I'm going to knit the 1 increase with you, but when you start doing your pattern, you are going to want to repeat that section until you have 107 stitches on the loom. I'm not going to do that in this sample because all you need is how to do one section, and then you can rewind and replay to this point. So just know that this is the same thing over and over again. And I will show you what it looks like when you get 107 stitches on there, because I have a work in progress already happening. All right, so we have row 1. I've put the half hitch on here, and now row 2 calls for it to skip 1, and we are going to knit 1, E-wrap, because it's on either side of a stitch marker, knit 1, E-wrap 1, and then between the parentheses section is always going to be the is going to start here where this knit 1 is, and then E-wrap, and then knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then E-wrap, and that's the parentheses section, and then you keep repeating that. So now we're at knit 1, E-wrap 1, knit 3, 1, 2, 3, and then E-wrap. And so you're supposed to do that until the last marker. This is considered the very last marker because we're at the end of my row, but as yours progressionally gets bigger, you will always have a last marker on your right, and you'll stop just short of that and then follow the directions to the end. And these are the directions that I'm talking about right now. So we have just we knit all the way to the end on that, and then row 2, skip 1, knit 1, E-wrap, and then we did the repeat in the parentheses section. So knit 1, E1, K3, E1, and then we kept repeating that till the last marker. And now we're going to knit 1, E-wrap 1, knit 1, half hitch. So we're going to knit 1, E-wrap, knit 1, and half hitch. Okay, and then same as before, knit to the end and half hitch. Okay, and now we're going to be doing row 4. I'm going to skip 1, knit 2, E-wrap 1, and now the parentheses section, knit 1, E-wrap 1, knit 3, 2, 3, E-wrap, knit, E-wrap, knit, 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 E-wrap to last marker and then follow the directions. Knit 1, E-wrap 1, and then it might as well say knit to the end and half hitch, basically. I mean, it doesn't say that. It actually calls out how many times you need to knit, but I just, once you get past this marker here, once you get that last E-wrap, basically you are knitting till the end and adding a half hitch. That's basically what you do on every row, except for row 12, and then we'll go over that. And now, same thing again. I'll meet you at the end. Half hitch, knit 1, 2, 3, E-wrap, knit, E-wrap, 1, 2, 3, E-wrap, 1, 2, I'm sorry, knit 1, E-wrap 1, knit 3, E-wrap, alright, same thing, gonna knit 1, and E-wrap 1, and knit to the end, and your directions should say knit 1, 2, 3, which tells you that we are ending on row 6, and then a half hitch. So now we are on row 7, knit all the way back, row 8. Okay, so I did my half hitch, and now row 8 is skip 1, knit 4, and you see this is a gray peg, and we are knitting it. It does not have a stitch marker next to it, so it does not get E-wrapped. And speaking of that, we E-wrap here because we see a stitch marker. So these are going to be some really good visual cues for you. Once you get the hang of this, it's those stitch markers and the gray pegs really come in handy. Now if you're using a loom that doesn't have the colored pegs, you can mark your loom by, I mean, I would suggest using a painter's tape or something to lay on there, and then you can mark it. Some people use different kinds of tape. Some may actually use permanent marker. I've seen people use nail polish to color the heads, the top head of their pegs, because it will eventually come off. I've never actually done that myself. I'm not sure I would want to do that if I had it. If I was using my all-in-one, I would not do that. I would use tape and mark it with the tape, mark on top of the tape. Okay, now we're still doing the knit to the end, and again, we've captured a gray peg, but it doesn't have a marker just yet. All right, now we're on row 9, and we're going to come back and knit across. Half hitch. Okay, skip 1, knit 5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. U-wrap 1. Do the parentheses section. If I'm going too quick, just remember the way I'm wrapping it is, I am doing it quickly, but it's an E-wrap on the gray pegs surrounded by the place marker. I know I've said it, but sometimes I know when the yarn starts going a little faster, you can't tell if I wrapped it a certain way or not. Okay, so that was an E-wrap. Now this is a U-knit. And now this is an E-wrap because it goes to the back first. This one goes around the front. And we're knitting till the end. So we're knitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and half hitch. All right. This is the last odd row in this section. You're almost there. I don't know, the Candace Olsen Diva Design or Divine Design, what is it? Designs by Candace. What is her name? Oh my goodness. I keep getting her theme song stuck in my head. She has like a do-it-yourself channel, DIY or HGTV. Anyway, her little theme song goes, "Bottles, lovely body." I just can't get that out of my head. Divine Design. Oh my gosh. Oh, anyway. Okay, sorry. It's late. Okay, so now we're at the end. We still do half hitch. All right, so we're at row 12. I'm going to put this down and get my pattern. Okay, so here's my pattern here. And we are at row, let me use my pointer here. Row 12, we have skip 1, knit 1, PM and YO, which is place marker and yarn over, and it's a K2 tog or knit 2 together. So basically we're knitting 2 together and placing the yarn, placing the marker and yarning over. So the way it's written because, and this is the same as above, the yarn over and marker are on one peg, and then the knit 2 together are on another peg, and that's why they're separated that way. But when you read this, they need to be really read together, because you actually move it and do this part first. Well, you move it over and then you place this thing to do it in front of this and then knit this over, but you got to move it in order to get that one done. So yes, we've done it before. I just want to reiterate that. Okay. So we're going to skip 1, knit 1, and then we're going to pick this up, move it over, yarn over, and then knit these 2 together. And if you have to do it one at a time, go for it. And I forgot to place my marker. See, that's what happens when you're not paying attention. Okay, so put your marker on there. If you can't see that, I better go with the yellow. That's why these come in really handy. Okay, so now we've got our placed marker. We've got this yarn over. These were knit 2 together already, and now we're gonna knit these 3. 1, 2, 3. E-wrap, knit, E-wrap, knit 3, E-wrap, knit, E-wrap, knit 3, E-wrap this, knit 1. See, that yarn splits. Just gotta be careful. E-wrap. Okay, now look at the pattern. The pattern actually says to to last marker, and then we knit 1, and then we E-wrap, knit 1 and E-wrap 1, and then we're going to knit 3. Sorry about that. Okay, so we knit 1, E-wrap 1, and then we'll knit 3, and then do our SSK, our slip slit knit. So 1, 2, 3, and now we're moving things toward the middle. So we're going to pick up our blue and move it over. And again, like if it's too much, you can move that over like that. Hello. Okay, knit that, place our marker, yarn over, knit together, just give a little bit more tension, and half hitch. All right, you have completed section 2. The increase rows. Well, you have completed one increase section. So once you've done that, you finish number 12, you're going to skip over to the next page, and then you can refer, you'll kind of go back and forth between page 4 and 3. Page 3, at least on my copy, section 2 starts here, and then at the top of the page here, this is where it talks about repeat the increase rows 1 through 6. 1 through 12 6 more times, and then end of increase rows, you've got 29 stitches on the loom. After repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it tells you how many stitches are on the loom, and then repeat once more, but you only stop at rows, you only stop on row 6. So all of these are going to be full repeats, all 12 rows, and then you'll have 107, and then you're going to do 6 more rows, and I'm sorry, you'll be finishing at 101, 6 more rows, you'll be at 107. So you will be, when you follow those instructions, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you'll stop. Okay, so we're going to meet back up after you've stopped, after you got to 107, and we will do section 3, the straight rows together, and you're going to see all of them on there in a different color. We'll meet you back in a moment, and remember to mark your time here, and you can go back and forth between the 2 sections. See you in a minute.